Alright, so today I'm going to be throwing these European spec floor mats into my S2000. These are also commonly known as the premium floor mats. You'll see kind of in a bit when I compare it with the stock ones. But first off, let's open this box. Unwrap now. So we have our floor mats here. I went with a black finish. I believe you can get these in red as well. They have this nice kind of metal Honda S2000 badge on both the passengers and the drivers. We have an instruction list, which should come in handy. And then also these metal brackets, which I believe we have to fix to the car. I believe just on beneath where the floor mats mount, just to hook them on. Yeah, actually, as you can see here, they're labeled as holders. So we'll take these down to the car and throw them in. So here's a side-by-side comparison of, so these are the new floor mats. Obviously they're nice shiny black, and these are the stock ones. So it's crazy because these are the ones that come with the factory USDM cars. So these ones are actually from Europe, because these are either European or premium floor mats, but just the size difference is insane. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how much different they look inside the car. Okay, so we're starting off on the passenger side here. The first thing you want to do is move your seat to the very rearmost position. I find the easiest way to do this is actually just to pull the recline, make sure that it's kind of up or even forward. And that gives you enough room to actually slide the seat back as far as you can. Now this next little section is going to be a little bit daunting, but you have to cut the carpet. In the instructions, it'll kind of tell you how to do it. Basically what it is on the hump here, it'll be a little bit tough to see, sorry, but you're going to cut two slits basically. One's going to be basically from the edge of the tunnel, 1 centimeter in, and it gives you dimensions in the directions. I believe it's 6 centimeters wide and 5 centimeters long are the slits. So you kind of make a W slit here, and then basically another 17 centimeters down, you're going to do the same thing. So get your trusty ruler and get a blade, measure twice, cut once, and we'll see you in the next part. So we have our holes cut here. Well, not holes, but basically flaps. So the next thing, you have these blue grommets. So each hole is going to have a little square section that you're going to see into the actual chassis. And you want to take basically from the hardware that they supply a blue grommet for the self-tapping screws and put them on either side. What we're going to do, you have these black brackets. So you take those and the supplied self-tapping screw. You match this screw up basically with where that grommet puts in the blue one, and according to the diagrams, you just have to basically put the kind of almost button style fasteners towards the back of the car, and then these hook styles towards the front of the car. So we do that, and basically on both sides, and then you're moving on to the next step. In the passenger side, so now I've gone ahead and thrown in the passenger side floor mats. What you're gonna have to do is this first part, which is actually quite a bit longer and bigger than the OEM one, like I mentioned before, just on its own. So you put that one in first. There's these two kind of hooks basically that hold the mat in place that are attached to those black brackets. And then the next thing you're gonna put in is this back piece. So the nice thing with this back piece, and the biggest difference with this style floor mat versus the original one, is that it covers this hump that generally sees a lot of wear, because when the passenger seat is usually in most people's comfortable position, it will run into there quite a bit, like people's feet and stuff, so you do see a lot of wear. So this covers that up, adds some protection. So basically what I did to put this one in is basically you see the two kind of magic fasteners that they like to call them on the back side. So I would basically lift this panel up, match the holes in, and there's a little Velcro piece on the back here, and then you kind of just fold it down, cover it up, and we're good to go on the passenger side. So we're just going to kind of replicate the same thing on the driver's side now. This one's a little bit easier, but different at the same time as the passenger side. So on the driver's side, there's gonna be these two kind of slits that run along the length of the car already. So basically you just find the edges of those and you cut back 5 centimeters to create the similar flap as the passenger side. But you'll notice there's this bracket already here, and that's for the factory floor mats where the hooks go. I believe we're gonna have to remove this one and change it out for the other one, because this one doesn't have the magic fastener one for the extended floor mats. So basically we're just gonna cut the slits on either side, remove these. That's not in the instructions, so I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I'll let you know, or you'll see otherwise. So I'm gonna take those off as well, and then I'll put in the new ones. So actually here's a side-by-side comparison. So the left side is the bracket that was in the car, and the right side is the new bracket. But as you can see, the holes actually line up the same, and same with the initial hooks. So I believe it's just a simple swap, and then we have our magic fastener at the back. So we'll throw these in basically as a pair. So it looks like with the actual hardware, we won't have to use the supplied grommet and the self-tapping screw for the driver's side. Good to know. So now we have our new brackets basically installed. It's interesting to note that the original brackets that were on this car, the self-tapping screws were actually kind of loose. Since they're holding in your floor mats, I don't think you have to get too crazy with specifications or anything like that. I would just do them up kind of, you know, relatively tight. You don't have to reef them on there, but I basically have them on there where this isn't going anywhere. So I wonder if that just backed out over time or not, but just something to note, interesting thing. I did actually go ahead and use the new self-tapping screws just because they're brand new and shiny, so why not? It would be kind of pointless to take out the existing grommet just to change it out with the other one. They look exactly the same, other than the fact that the ones on the car right now are green color and the new ones are blue, but that doesn't matter. So we'll just go in and throw in our new floor mat now. It's basically the same process as the passenger side, where we're gonna wanna put the upper part, the more forward portion, in first onto these hooks, and then put the back side onto the magic fasteners, and then loop it over and to complete the install. So now the driver's side is in, looking actually really nice. I quite like how much this improves the interior. You can't really see it because it's quite dark, but yeah, that's pretty, it's a lot better than the factory one. So kind of similar to the passenger side, this back half or back portion covers up the hump. So again, kind of covers up any worn carpet or anything like that, and I think just looks way better. So yeah, I mean, to show you what we were coming from, these ones were quite worn. The S2000 stitching here was coming off. As you noted on the premium floor mats, it's actually a metal badge, so that's actually a pretty nice touch. But yeah, relatively quick and easy install. It's a little bit daunting to cut into carpet, but honestly, at the end of the day, that gets covered up by the floor mats anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this install. Pretty much I was just going through the instruction manuals, which is actually quite good. So it's right here. It just goes into every single step of what to do. Interesting, there's a little memo sheet here. But yeah, basically just follow what the instructions say, and then you'll basically go from this dirty, nasty setup, if your car's anything like mine, to a nice updated interior. So yeah, so hopefully this helps. Just a nice little update on the interior of the S2000. I have my bridge seat here. I do have these bandanas installed. You might be wondering why. The seat belt, kind of, I just put it wherever the seat belt contacts, so it doesn't actually prematurely wear the seating material. I know Brid does sell basically kind of different covers for the sides, etc., for the same purpose, but they're pretty expensive. I believe they're leather, so they might do a better job at actually protecting, but this was just a cheap, inexpensive way, and I've seen it done on a few other cars, so I kind of dig the look. But yeah, so the floor mats are just another nice addition to the interior of the car. So hopefully that helps. if you are doing this in the install in the future. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and look forward to the next video. Thanks.